Well, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing everything about our lives. How did you get through it, and how has it changed the way that you do things today?
Wow, such a great question. How did I get through it? Well, I would say a glass or two of wine every single night. Um, I do remember, like most people, that in the beginning there was a lot of uncertainty, right? Wow, we're here, and this is kind of science fiction, and what's going to happen over the next several months? Are we going to be hunkered down, in this same spot forever? And so, for me, I was growing a business at the time. It was an e-commerce business. We had lots of challenges, as you can imagine, because of supply chain disruptions. And so I feel like that was for me at a time of having a passion for growing that particular company, uh, along with a long-standing practice that I've had around meditation and around just carving time away daily, to just disconnect, if you will, from what's going on in the world. So for me, I tend to like and believe that we need sort of a detachment and kind of a spectrum, if you will, to be able to operate when things get chaotic or stressful or tense. We need to be able to pull ourselves out of those situations and not stay embedded in them for long periods of time.
So let's get into the heart and soul of what you do on a daily basis. And to do that, I'm going to put you in front of 13-year-olds. It's career day. And one of the kids in the back of the room wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer him?
What I say is, it's a great question. I'm glad you're kind of exploring passion. For me, I learned over many years that my passion is growing and scaling companies. And so now I help other business owners be able to grow and scale their companies much faster than it took me.
So, what did you want to be when you were that age? When you were a kid, what was your dream job?
My dad was truly a rocket scientist, much smarter than I am, I guess. So I wanted to be a physicist, nuclear scientist like my dad. I remember writing in notebooks about, just all kinds of learning around stuff like that. But eventually decided, that really wasn't what I was really interested in. And so kind of moved on. But I've taken a wild trajectory from where I started to where I am today. Never in a million years would I've thought I'd kind of go down this particular path.
So, what gave you the business acumen? What were the seeds that were planted, aside from your father and his life as a rocket scientist? What gave you this foresight and this determination to be successful?
The determination came from my family. My family was very driven. I would say almost sometimes too driven. So perfectionism, being too meticulous, too detail oriented, but always a very hard work ethic. For me, I went to college studying biomedical science, went to work for a medical software company in Silicon Valley, and ultimately, got fired from that job because I was the kid who was raising too many questions. Why do we do it this way? This doesn't really make sense. Why don't we do it this other way? And after a while, they were like, "Hey, kid, listen. We just want somebody just to push buttons and pull levers, and if you're kind of creating a heartache for us, so we're going to let you go." And for me, I realized in those early moments that I really enjoyed problem solving, and I really enjoyed change. I really enjoyed novelty, being in different environments, seeing different things. I kind of get bored with one particular thing. So the course of my life has really been around um, delving into new situations, new niches, new problems, finding new opportunities. And entrepreneurship is a great vehicle for that type of mindset.
So, who's been your hero? Who's been your inspirational force that's allowed you to have the success, to know your place in the business world? Who's been for you?
Early on it was my dad. But I think, a parent can only take us so far. I began to then realize that I was kind of caught in my own making, caught in my own ruts, my own habits, my own subconscious programming and problems. And so for me, the mentors, if you will, that help me to unlock that, often I would say most of them are dead, actually. Books that have been written in times past really helping me to understand my own subconscious programming, why I think the way that I do. So, as an example, releasing your brakes, which is an old classic that nobody's really heard of from years ago, and multitude of others, really kind of helped me unlock the door for me of how to get past myself.
So, if you can meet a business mind, anybody on the planet right now that you admire, that you look up to, that's done it well from the top down, who would you love to have a lunch with and talk to?
Uh, Honestly, probably Ray Dalio.
Yeah.
And the reason I mention him is I don't have, I'm going to be frank for this moment. I don't have a lot of alignment with most business owners because, in my view, they're especially the big business owners that we know of, right? The Elon Musk of the world. Those individuals to me are really off balance too much, and I praise balance and harmony in my own life. Ray Dalio strikes me as somebody who is thinking about the short term, but also thinking about the long term, thinking about cycles, thinking about how changes that we make today impact the world that we're going to live in another 5 to 10 years. And that long term thinking around more humanity and people, that resonates with me.
So, what's been the biggest risk that you've taken as an entrepreneur? What's the thing that you went into that you weren't sure about, but it's been the biggest growth for you, or it turned out to be paramount in your existence?
Yeah, so certainly the very first time of just leaving corporate America, leaving a nice six-figure job with benefits and all that, and going out on my own and just deciding I'm going to make this work. And it was very difficult in the beginning for the first 2 or 3 years, but just deciding this is what I'm going to do, and I'm gonna put my head to it and just make it work. That would be one of those pivotal moments. There's been others as well along the way, but that one I think is probably the biggest.
And the one thing that can change our trajectory in our lives is like a random act of kindness, someone just being nice to us. What's been one of the kindest things that anybody's done for you that's made a deep impact?
I would say that is introducing me to others who are playing and hitting well above my weight class. So uh, I've had instances in my life where individuals that I've met are are really more about building honest, solid, real relationships, and with those individuals, then meeting and unlocking relationships with others that I may not have been able to have had relationships with other in other ways. So that's been a big unlock.
So, what is the energy for you every day when the alarm clock goes off? To do this job at a high level, to affect lives, to take care of your soul, your family. What is that energy for you every day to do it at a high caliber?
I I'm gonna give you an answer that is probably different from most business owners, most capitalists, et cetera. I'm quite different in that. For me, I've gotten to the place of I'm no longer sort of forcing it or making it happen, but I really do enjoy kind of tuning into intuition and tuning into this sort of internal alignment that wants to play itself out. So, kind of feeling like there's a muse, if you will, inside that wants to come out and play. It wants to experience, you know, different opportunities, challenges, relationships, and me as the observer, kind of watching this now play out and being open to some of those not working out certainly the way that I would have wanted them to, or maybe taking a different route or different path than I would have chosen previously. And that level of the game has really become fascinating.
So, if you had a dream tonight and you ran into an 18-year-old version of you, and you could go up to that version of you and there's a film projector and you hit play and there's a 60-second highlight reel of the life you've lived, would that young version of you believe your life turned out this way?
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah. I would say it's not been easy, right? It's been a lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, some moments that have been just incredibly breaking, but the I'm incredibly happy with the with where I have come, if you will, where I've arrived on this journey.
So, would you give any advice?
I would actually, yeah. And the advice that I would give my younger self is to not focus on just making money or trying to, make things work out, but really tap into what you are passionate about, what you find, what brings you joy, what opening up to just situations and circumstances as they come, and knowing that the money, the life that you want will take care of itself without having to just solely focus on it. For me, I really began focusing at an early period on building businesses and cash engines and money and things of that nature, and that's never really worked for me. I had to let that go completely in order to find the level of joy and happiness and peace that I really wanted.
So, let me ask you this. Of everything that you've done, that you've had to overcome and you've evolved to at this point in your life, what are you the happiest about? What are you genuinely the proudest of that's happened in your life up to this point?
The thing that I'm proudest of is, man, that's a really good question. It is, it's not one thing. So it's not the business success, and it's not the, I love my family, my wife, and I've been married for 25 years, have three beautiful kids. You know, health, et cetera. It's ebbs and flows for all of us. But it's not really for me any one thing. I really believe that from an early age, I wanted to try to figure out how to navigate life and be in harmony, like how to have health and a successful business and a happy family, and um, personal peace and personal joy. And so throughout my life, it's been sort of finding the pieces coming together, but not completely, but still being focused on that higher level vision, if you will. That's the thing that I'm most excited about, is just having arrived at where I'm at, but that's not the destination. We're never quote there, right? Um, but I'm proud to kind of watch this painting getting designed, if you will, over the course of my life.
So
And
let
something that I couldn't have architected early on, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So let me ask you this. If I was to put you in front of a crowd at a podium of everybody that's known you in a business sense throughout your career, and you were to tell them a fun story about your life, maybe a wonderful sporting experience, the first concert you went to, jumping out of an airplane, outrunning a bear, some fun story that might shed a little bit of an extra personalized light on you, what would be a fun story you would tell that room?
Wow, that is really put me on the spot. Yeah. Um, um, for me, maybe one of those stories was many, many years ago. I was involved in an organization here in Austin that helped the homeless and that helped those of lower income needs, those who are really, really scraping by in life. And at one time, I got asked to be a project manager for this particular family that had a house that was in real disrepair, and really, wrangling a lot of workers and supplies and donations and things of that nature to help support this family in this house. And my my older self was one of driven by plans and timelines and everything that I sort of had to go take action and make happen. And What ended up happening in that experience was that the more I didn't know and let go going into it, the more it unfolded in a way that I could have never architected on my own. Um, the supplies showed up when they were supposed to show up. The people showed up when they were supposed to show up. The donations arrived when they were supposed to have arrived. And I stepped away from that experience, witnessing like this intelligence that worked at a level far beyond what my mind was capable of producing. And that event kind of planted the seeds, if you will, for learning to walk a path in business and in with family and relationships and all of that, where I could be a part of more and more events like that happening, more and more of this intelligence coming through. Because I again began to realize more and more that I was not capable of really making it happen on my own. That there's something else that's higher and more intelligent than I am.
That's a great answer. So let me ask you this, Damon. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone that knows you in different varying lights, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Uh, yeah, well, a work in progress, right? So the way I would have answered that question even a year ago or 5 or 10 years ago, completely different today. Um, I tend to think of myself as being very calm under pressure, someone who can be trusted and is loyal to what it is we're working on together. Someone who's very inclusive. I like to bridge and bring people together. Um, Business wise, I'm very sort of focused on operations and optimizing, making things more efficient. So I don't tend to like to be a great author. I tend to like to be a great editor, if you will. So, and in relationships, learning to just let go of things uh, that might bother me, et cetera, and learning to embrace everyone as on their own path, just like I am, doing the best that they can, making the best decisions that they know how to make along the way.
What's the greatest thing about living in Austin, Texas?
The greatest thing. It used to be this big melting pot of musicians and musicians. So the idea of just being able to pop into a food trailer or someplace and get some great food, I would say that's a big thing here in Austin.
So if anybody wants to delve into modern operations, ask any questions, any of the good business in your world, where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah, just to head over to modernoperators.com/start. And there's a launch point there that you can sign up for our newsletter, check it out. We put out a lot of thought leadership on modern operations and operations being the new growth engine of businesses today because of the climate that we're in, right? Everything's moving very quickly. Decisions have to be made quickly. Um, but that's a good place to jump off and get to know us a little bit more all the way through even just booking a call and seeing if working together might be good for you.
Okay, I will put links in the show notes. Damon, this has been wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your story. I really appreciate it. It was great to meet you.
Hey, great to talk to you as well, Joe. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Hey, I operate pretty quick, so I will have links over to you tomorrow. I'm glad we connected. This was great. Thank you so much. What a great story, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, out of the blue, but I'm glad the answers at least came.
No,
Right.
you're
So.
great. No, and I love your story. The story.